Hello there, everybody, and welcome to this latest installment of the Grand Slam Wrestling Match of the Week. I'm Big Paulie coming to you. Today we have a sensational junior heavyweight championship bout. Danny Hodge, who just won the title last week over Dr. Wagner Jr. after Dr. Wagner Jr. had just beaten that week Roddy Piper. He faces the Japanese junior heavyweight star Tiger Mask in Stockton, California in the Western Circuit. So this will be a spectacular match. Tiger Mask has been rated highly the last several weeks in the rankings, and even though he is a babyface and Danny Hodge is also, they will do battle, and one of these men will be the junior heavyweight champion after this match is over. And we've had some title changes here in week number 43. It's very rare when we don't have a title change hands during the week, because there are quite a few of them. There are 13 different titles here in the Grand Slam Wrestling, 5 world titles, the World Heavyweight, the World Junior Heavyweight, the World Tag Team, the Women's title, and the Women's Tag titles. And then we have the 4 regions with singles and tag team titles. So let's go over what has changed this week. Betty Nikolai, who you don't normally think of as a legend in professional wrestling, although she deserves to be. She was one of the lady wrestlers that got professional women's wrestling back in New York in the 70s. She won the 30-woman battle royal for the vacant women's championship that Mildred Burke had to vacate due to injury, and we hear Lioness Azuka will get the first title defense get the first title shot against Nikolai, and Nikolai's first title defense in the Southern region next week, week 44. Speaking of the Southern region, Lou Thesz has quickly ended the reign of Hiro Matsuda, winning the Southern title in less than 8 minutes there. And also in the South, Bobby Shane and Buddy Colt are the brand new World Tag title holders. They beat the British Bulldogs. The British Bulldogs have been very busy the last couple of weeks, because they have lost some matches by disqualification, and because of that they have had to have some makeup matches in some of the circuits. They had 2 battles with the Nasty Boys, where the Nasty Boys won each match by DQ, and they went into their scheduled defense in the South against Shane and Colt, and Bobby Shane and Buddy Colt win the World Tag titles for the first time. They had been regional champions beforehand, and now that sets up our World Junior Heavyweight Championship match, and we will look over the Western Circuit matches so far. I've added some matches to the cards in each of the circuits to give some new talent, or some talent that had moved to the region via trade lotteries. And one of these days I'm going to get around and do a How Do I Do GSW video. One of these days, probably by the end of the year, if not way sooner, I'll show you how I do GSW. We had Ken Patera, who had just moved into the region, faced Ricky Morton, and they went to a 20-minute draw. These tryout matches are all 20 minutes apiece. Ultimo Dragon over Eric Embry when Fishman interfered, and that went 9 minutes 7 seconds. Jeff Hardy over Biggie Langston in 17:34. Paul Jones interfered in that match, so that sets up some feuds as we move along here. And in the proper part of the card, the 9 matches we would normally see, 8 of them have already transpired. Black Japan and the Kalmakoffs. Japan is the duo of Great Muta and Masachono, who are big fan favorites in Japan. And they wrestled the Kalmakoffs, who were the former Western Tag title holders. Went to a double countout. Paul Jones, who we saw earlier in the card, he easily defeated Alex Shelley of the Time Splitters. Bob Armstrong and Brock Lesnar had some unfinished business after last week, and it was Armstrong winning by DQ when Gary Hart interfered. One of the great books about professional wrestling and the inside stories of wrestling is Gary Hart, My Life in Wrestling, and it's very hard to get in book form, but you could listen to some chapters of it on YouTube. Just type Gary Hart, My Life in Wrestling, and it's there. He tells some very good stories. In the second tag bout of the night, it was the Hells Angels and the Japanese duo of Mitsuharu Misawa and Toshiaki Kawada going to a time limit draw. Kawada is also ranked very high in the singles rankings. He's been about 25th, but he's been so busy with tag teams he hasn't been able to move up in the rankings. Mil Mascaras and Bert Azarati, and speaking of Gary Hart, there he is again. He is now managing the European tough guy Azarati, and that bout went to a double countout at 8:47. Fishman with the surprise win over former NWA World Champion Pat O'Connor by a countout. These two might have a rematch next week. On to the title bouts. Inoki and Baba lose by countout to the Outsiders, who come back after a few weeks of a hiatus. Paul Ellering was their manager before their hiatus, after they did poorly in a battle royal and they couldn't get booked. And we hear Ellering will be coming back probably next week as the Outsiders and Inoki and Baba meet again. Big Van Vader, with a little bit of luck, to beat Dick the Bruiser in 15:28, a sneak attack after the referee was incapacitated. And that sets up our World Heavyweight Championship match. Tiger Mask going for his first World Junior Heavyweight Championship against Danny Hodge. And every time we've had the World Junior Heavyweight title featured on this card, it seems to change hands, although when we follow the world champ around, that title never seems to change hands. We've set this all up. Danny Hodge, the prohibited favorite, his rating 193. I'm using Wrestling's Finest version 3 in case some of you do not know. And in the ratings, usually 100, you are somewhat a decent talent. If you are 200, you are a very good talent. And the best talent is a 270. But if you're at 140, you should be able to hold your own, and that's what Tiger Mask is, a 140. Danny Hodge was a former 8-time World Junior Heavyweight Champion in the NWA. Both these guys are baby faces, and I think they'll adhere to the rules for the most part. Ring the bell. Let's get this underway in Stockton, California. Punches used by Danny Hodge to start off the bout. And in Hodge's career, he had to play the heel sometimes in his career, so you'll probably see a little roughhousing out of Hodge just out of habit. The first pin attempt by Hodge, a running bulldog, not there. Hodge punching away at Tiger Mask. Hodge, I would think, would be the probably has the size advantage here, albeit a little bit. In the junior heavyweight ranks, you have to weigh less than 225 pounds to hold the title. It used to be it was 235 for a while, and then I restricted it down a little bit to 225. No action, auto control loss. Before that, another auto control loss, especially Nuva knee lift by Danny Hodge, and that's what won him the title against Dr. Wagner Jr. in Louisville, Kentucky last week. Knee lift, attempted suplex, not there. Illegal speed move by Tiger Mask. So the match is a little sloppy at this point. Pin attempt on Mask, and that's no dice. Kick by Hodge to the head of Tiger Mask. Mask getting roughed up. And Danny Hodge was a professional boxer at one point, went 7-2 in 9 bouts. Disqualified check, nothing there. Legal arm hold. Speed move. Stamina is 10 to damage is minus 10 for Hodge, minus 49 for Tiger Mask at the 5-minute mark. A legal throw. It's like watching a running football team against a passing football team, and Tiger Mask would be considered the guy who could get in the air, so he would be like the passing football team, and Hodge is like the guy who could just keep it on the ground and just pound you into submission. Punches again by Hodge, a kick by Hodge, and Hodge just systematically just keeping Mask grounded so he doesn't use any of those aerial moves. Legal arm hold. Auto control loss by Hodge. Pin hold by Tiger Mask. Does not get the 3 count. He only had a 1 in 40 chance of getting to 3, and I think he got to 2. Legal arm hold. So Hodge just continuing just to work. Legal arm hold by Hodge. Last time we saw Danny Hodge, he had lost to Farmer Burns in a good bout. Oklahoma roll by Danny Hodge, which was one of his finishers. And that reduces the stamina by 5 points on Tiger Mask. Legal arm hold. Disqualified check. Possible DQ stop. Possible DQ stop again. Suplex on Hodge onto Mask. Mask hits the mat with a thud. Boom. And his stamina reduced again another 10 points. He's running out of stamina before he hits another level. And this is a submission attempt. You're not going to get him. Tiger Mask underestimates Danny Hodge's concentration. Well, a lot of people did that in their careers. Legal arm hold by Mask. So Mask trying to use Hodge's strength against him. Reduced stamina by 5. Mask hooks him into a vertical suplex for a 10-point stamina reduction. Kick by Hodge countered. Body slam by Tiger Mask. So Tiger Mask getting some moves going here. Disqualified check. By the way, Danny Hodge is already out of strategy cards. Especially move flying drop kick. Nothing there. Stamina down to 28-4 for Hodge. Kick by Tiger Mask. Legal speed move countered. Legal arm hold. A ropes move. A kick by Hodge. And now Hodge is down to... Mask is now down to 2 points on level 5. And now, yep. Danny Hodge has now kicked Mask down another stamina level where he's now 37-31-3 pin rating. So Tiger Mask running out of gas. Ring post attack. Hodge goes postal on Mask. 15 more points lost. Snap suplex. And a little too early for the 3 count. We're about 19 minutes into the bout. Legal punches, legal leg hold. And Tiger Mask slips on a wet spot and loses control. Legal whip into the ropes by Hodge. Legal chop. 2. Ropes move by Tiger Mask. Very unlikely he would get the pin there. We've gone past the 21-minute mark. Another ropes move. Nothing there. Legal forearm. And now Mask in trouble. The forearm uppercuts, and that's your match. Danny Hodge retains in 22-37 against Tiger Mask. A 4-star match. Danny Hodge was simply the better wrestler tonight. His dramatic win over Tiger Mask put an exclamation point on what Danny Hodge has been saying for a long time, that he is simply the best world champion, well, in this case, the world junior heavyweight champion ever. And that argument could be made. So that's your match, folks. Danny Hodge defends his World Junior Heavyweight Championship. Next week, we will have Farmer Burns against Hiroyoshi Tenzan out of the North Circuit. And that will be recorded in the middle of next week. Thank you, Gorilla Monsoon. And we'll have that available for you next Saturday night right here on the Big Paulie's World of Sports Sims channel. 7 o'clock bell time for that main event. Hope you enjoyed tonight's bout. This has been Big Paulie coming to you. We wish you well. No matter where you are, no matter when you see this, Godspeed, God bless. We'll do it all again soon. Bye-bye for now, everybody.